The undercard bout between Danny Garcia and Erislandy Lara has concluded, leaving experts surprised by Lara's dominance and Garcia's struggles.
First of all, I want to thank God. I want to thank Al Heyman. I want to thank Prime, my team, Garcia, all my fans around the world. You know, I'm sorry. I came off a 2-year layoff. I stepped up a weight class. I tried to be great. You know, it wasn't my night. No excuses.
776 days off is an awful long time in boxing, and then to try to accomplish this, was it just not able to find the rhythm or find the old Danny?
Well, probably so. I didn't think the layoff would affect me, but this is only my second fight in like 4 years, so there's no excuses. You know, I guess I couldn't catch my rhythm. I haven't been active. Maybe that was the reason, or maybe he was just better than me tonight.
In the fight before that, Danny Garcia kind of going down in his own right. A lot of fans very disappointed. I heard the Q word in the crowd about 10 or 12 times to quit. People thought that Danny Garcia just kind of gave up. What was your assessment of what happened with Danny?
Paycheck. You know, he looked like he was here to get a paycheck, and he looked like something might be wrong with him, and the way that his father moved to stop the fight at the end suggested maybe his father saw something in training that made him aware that Danny was not going to be competitive against Erislandy Lara. So I'm impressed with Lara, but he wasn't in against a real opponent tonight.
I feel good. I did my job. Fighting 12 rounds is hard work, especially against a tough fighter like Danny Garcia. He's a great champion in the lower divisions, like I said before. But now, you know, I did what I had to do, and I feel great.
Meanwhile, former CEO of Mayweather promotion Leonard Ilerbe believed that if Danny Garcia takes out Erislandy Lara, he's punching his ticket to the Hall of Fame. If Danny can pull it off, I think he goes into the Hall of Fame. Ilerbe said he would join elite company. He added, "This fight's gonna be a banger. Lara's style now is different. He sits down on his punches more and doesn't move as much. It's gonna be a real fan-friendly scrap." Moreover, former pro boxer Chris Algieri was hyped for the fight and couldn't wait to see these two go at it. He kept it real, saying that while speed is cool, timing usually wins the day, especially with a defensive beast like Lara. Algieri was curious to see how Danny Garcia would deal with Lara's slick defense in the ring.
Finds those holes, punches with guys in a very dangerous fashion. He's a very, very difficult guy to deal with, as my two compadres here are gonna fill us all in as they spend time in the ring with him. But very interesting fight. You know, we got two guys that, you know, that we did the tail of the tape. It's hard not to look at that 41 years of age for Erislandy Lara. But also, you know, similar in height, and obviously Danny's coming up from, you know, 140 once upon a time. Erislandy Lara was a 54-pounder. He's moved up to 60 now. One thing that was not on there with Erislandy Lara's really long arms, big, long reach, and Danny doesn't. So I'm curious to see how that's going to play. He's going to have to close that distance, even though the height's not that different. Lara is a very defensive guy, southpaw, very, very long arms. But again, timing beats speed, timing beats length. So
boxing trainer Greg Hackett-L asserts that Lara's left hand is lethal, and he's got a knack for using it at just the right moments to catch opponents off guard. Hackett said if Danny Garcia can avoid being in the direct line of fire, not just by running but by staying out of range, he might have a chance. But he warned that if Garcia doesn't counter effectively or focus on Lara's body, he could be in for a tough fight.
I mean, from what I've been seeing from Lara, that left hand, he on fire with that left hand. He know when to fire it, he know how to set it up. I mean, he know how to get you to react, to open up for the left hand. That's what I see. If Danny could get away from that left hand, not get away as in run, but when he fire that motherfucker, don't be right there. But he got to be able to counter. If Danny not countering, if Danny not going to the body, there's going to be some trouble there.
Boxing trainer Bob Santos has been a game changer for Erislandy Lara, sticking by him since the start and helping him make waves across different weight classes. As Lara, now 41 and the Olympic gold medalist, geared up to defend his WBA middleweight title against Danny Garcia, Santos noted that Lara's still pushing back against any doubts about his performance. He added, "Lara's another guy that everybody says is too old, but he keeps producing, keeps winning," Santos said. When Santos considered Lara's bout with Brian Castano, he said, "I thought we won that fight. We got a draw, but it is what it is, and we moved on to bigger and better things. Lara approached his career with an attitude of one fight at a time. Santos thought that this strategy, although risky, was what distinguished truly outstanding athletes. He still wants to compete, Santos remarked. What makes these guys great and different from most of us is the ability to always think they can do it, to always believe they can get off the deck, to always think they can take on a challenge that most of us would shy away from. That mindset is what makes them great. He further added, I just talked to him the other day, and I'll be meeting with him tonight. He just loves it. He's done it his whole life, and that's all he knows. Angel Garcia was dead set on taking out Erislandy Lara, making it clear that Danny ain't playing around. He said Danny's locked in, and this fight's gonna be a straight-up chess match in the ring. Move for move, no games.
I'm taking him very serious. Now, when he hits Danny gonna hit him back. But you know, you get hit in boxing. Because you don't play boxing. You know, you're gonna hit, they're gonna hit you back. So it's about technique, it's about being skillful and out playing chess when we go play chess.
Angel Garcia explained how they plan to beat a counterpuncher like Lara, highlighting that Danny is also a counterpuncher but knows that constant pressure is what makes those fighters crack. He's dedicated to making sure Danny brings his A-game to the ring. He stressed their commitment to taking out Lara, saying they need Danny to stay focused and be fully prepared. They're putting in the work in the gym, making sure no detail is missed and everything is perfected from training all the way to fight night. Former boxer Sean Porter laid it out straight that if Danny wants to make a mark against Lara, he's got to drop those powerful shots and really bring the pain.
I don't know if he can still, I think he has to hit Lara. I think if Lara is punching and on the move, you know, again, we've seen this in the past where we felt like Lara was being effective and doing what needed to be done and he came up short. But I just don't see that happening in this fight.
Sean said that Danny likes to take his sweet time in his fights and test out the moves with 1 or 2 punches at a time. Porter said that if Danny is not landing those shots, even though they may be 1 or 2 at a time, then there is a huge problem for him. I think he's gonna, from a punching standpoint, I think he's going to fall behind in the punch that numbers. But as long as he's able to connect here and there, he could possibly win rounds or steal rounds with the bigger effective punches. I think we all expect him to be able to land big, hard shots. Danny Garcia looked all set and fired up for his showdown with Lara, saying he's coming off a great training camp and feels ready to go.
I feel great, you know, all the hard work is done. You know, I had a great training camp, you know, that's why they make sparring, that's why they make running, and I did everything in the gym, so I'm ready, I'm here.
Moreover, Garcia said he has studied Lara. He knows what he is in for. To prepare, his sparring partners were around 170, 175 pounds. Danny added on how the fight may look like. I think this has a chance to be fight of the year. I'm ready for anything. If he wants to stay there and bang, we can bang it out. If I have to chase him around, then I have to chase him around. Or maybe he will have to chase me around, but I doubt it. I feel strong here. I have carried my power with me. He may make the mistake of thinking that he is the stronger guy. If he thinks that, he will be very surprised at how strong I am. Just like everyone else, he can try whatever he wants to try. Former boxer Paulie Malignaggi kept it real, saying the Danny versus Lara fight looks like a move to draw in the casual fans, especially with both of them being on the sidelines for a minute. But with a world title up for grabs, he thinks it definitely adds some juice to the mix.
You know, when you look at the age of both guys and you look at the layoff Garcia has had, and honestly, even though Lara has been active, he hasn't spent a lot of rounds in the ring, you could argue that this fight was put together in order just to suck up to the casuals and, you know, put 2 names that they all recognize. But then, more than that, you know, when you look between the lines, there's a world championship on the line. So it's not just 2 guys you're just randomly taking who you know are going to be popular. You know, there is a legitimate world championship on the line, Lara's WBA middleweight title. We talk about the middleweight division needing new blood, and so not so much new blood because these guys aren't new, but needing that exciting blood.
Malignaggi gave Danny Garcia his props, saying, Danny's always stepped up to the plate, showing heart and a rock-solid chin. He ain't the type to go down easy. Nobody's ever really put it on Danny, but he's handled plenty of top dogs and pulled off wins when folks doubted him, like in those Mathisi and Khan fights. Furthermore, Chris Algieri commented on Danny Garcia's attitude ahead of his clash. Chris added that Danny is still one of the best fighters in terms of his timing in the ring, and his counterpunches are amazing. Algieri was curious to see what Garcia had left in his tank.
His attitude right now.
Yeah, I thought he sounded great. You know, I haven't seen him. Obviously, he's been inactive. He hasn't really been in the media spotlight. But he's back now, and he's been in big fights before. So, listen, he's saying all the right things. But you know, it's one thing to be in the gym all the time, and like you said, but it's another thing to be in a ring. So I'm curious to see how that ring rust can affect him, especially a fighter like him, who's a timing fighter. You know, at his best, he's a phenomenal timing puncher, counter puncher. Finds those holes, punches with guys in a very dangerous fashion. He's a very, very difficult guy to deal with.
Chris further commented on the motivation that Garcia brings to the fight. What is his his motivation? Money? I'm not looking at his bank account, but I don't think so. This is legacy. In Garcia's own mind, he knows he's on the cusp of being a Hall of Fame fighter. He gets this win, that's a lock. Danny Garcia explained what it means if he can defeat Erislandy Lara. It would mean the world to me. You know, this is my dream right here. Everyone don't achieve their dreams. You know, I already did it 2 times in 2 weight classes, and the third time is the charm. Danny further added on ending Lara's reign, I would love to be the first person to stop Lara. I've been the first person to stop a lot of fighters. And to me, if I could stop him and just for sure guarantee that championship, that'll be the icing on the cake. Furthermore, pro boxer Kyrone Davis commented on Danny's fight with Lara. Davis was of the view that this fight would determine how much Garcia has left in his tank. Kyrone stated that this fight is between a good puncher and a counterpuncher like Danny Garcia, and it would be really interesting.
Who wins that fight? Yeah. I think it's a really good competitive fight. We have to see how much Danny has left, see how much Lara has left. I think it's a good crossroads fight. I think it's a fight that could have been happening, but you know, it's good that it's happening now. I think it's an interesting fight. You know, you got the stick boxer, who's also a puncher. You got Danny Garcia, who's a great counter puncher. Always finds a way to stay close in the fight, no matter what.
Kyrone said that he doesn't want to make any predictions on who is going to win in the fight, because this fight is far too unpredictable. Furthermore, Garcia talked about his retirement plan after his fight with Lara. He said that it's always great to come out on top, but the sky's the limit if he wins his fight with Lara. Danny added that he isn't worried about his retirement because he is focused on Erislandy. He further predicted his own fight. I'm going to go out there and fight my fight, the Danny Garcia fight. You know, this is nothing new to me. I've been here for a long time, go out there. Haven Brady thought that the fight was 50-50. He explained that it depended on the fighters who would put on a showdown on fight night. He believed that both fighters had the potential to make a comeback during the fight.
Answer, man. You see he threw you the oop just now, so I want him to answer, man. I want to know what he thinks.
Right. I think it's 50-50. It just depends on which one show up. You know, I feel like it's a layoff, so it all depends. It's a comeback fight for both of them. So I can't wait to see how it's gonna end.
Pro boxer Danny Garcia has thought about retiring after his with Lara and desperately wants the title in his hand. Who did you think would come out on top and who were you rooting for? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you liked the video, hit that like button and subscribe. Don't forget to check out our other videos on the screen right now.